What are 5 ways that AI is already improving itself? We're going to talk about that now because this is the critical path to further AI development. And that path leads to AGI and superintelligence in the absence of prohibitions against that. So this matters. Last week, Mark Zuckerberg declared that Meta is aiming to achieve smarter than human AI. Meta Superintelligence Labs will be focused on building self-improving AI, and they're not the only ones, obviously. Google is actively working on that, as well as Anthropic. The possibility of self-improvement distinguishes AI from all other revolutionary technologies. We're talking things like CRISPR. These other things cannot self-improve. LLMs can already optimize computer chips that they run on, train other LLMs cheaply and efficiently, and perhaps even come up with original ideas for AI research. And they've already made some progress in all of these domains. AI self-improvement could bring about a world in which humans are liberated from workaday drudgery and can pursue their highest goals with the support of brilliant, hyper-effective artificial companions. The question then is, if you're free from workaday drudgery, how do you get food, a place to live, etc.? There's an obvious answer, and my commenters mention it frequently. But self-improvement also creates a fundamental risk. If AI accelerates the developments of its own capabilities, Chris Painter, policy director at AI research nonprofit Meter, says this Meter evaluates AI models, so it's a key member of the AI community. So Painter says it could rapidly get better at hacking, designing weapons, and manipulating people, which I emphasized those dangers in a recent video. Check that out. I think this is the fastest path to powerful AI, says Jeff Clune, professor of computer science at the University of British Columbia and senior research scientist at Google DeepMind. So this guy, Jeff Clune, is at the center of everything in AI. Clune says automating AI research and development could have enormous upsides as well as potential downsides. For now, human ingenuity is still the prime engine of AI advancement. So humans still direct the direction of AI research. But AI is already contributing to its own development, and it's set to take even more of a role in the years to come. Here are 5 ways AI is making itself better. Enhancing productivity. The biggest thing is coding assistance, tools to help engineers write software more quickly. If engineers are more productive because of this coding assistance, they will be able to design, test, and deploy new AI systems more quickly. But the productivity advantages of these tools remains uncertain still. A recent study from Meter, for example, found that developers take about 20% longer to complete tasks when using AI coding assistance, even though they perceive they're being faster. Number 2, optimizing infrastructure. LLM training in particular is an agonizingly slow process. These delays are major bottlenecks for AI development, says Azalea Mirashani, an assistant professor at computer science at Stanford University and senior staff scientist at Google DeepMind. So the people in this article are the best of the best, by the way. If we can run AI faster, we can innovate more, she says. That's why Mirasani has been using AI to optimize AI chips since 2021. Google has used Mirasani's system designs for multiple generations of its own custom AI chips. However, even general-purpose LLMs can, in some cases, rewrite kernels on a chip. Elsewhere at Google, scientists built a system that they use to optimize various parts of the company's LLM infrastructure. The system, called AlphaEvolve, which I've previously mentioned, prompts Google's Gemini LLM to write algorithms for solving some problem, evaluates those algorithms, and asks Gemini to improve on the most successful. AlphaEvolve designed a new approach for running data centers that saved 0.7% of Google's computational resources, made further improvements to Google's custom chip design, and designed a new kernel that sped up Gemini's training by 1%. Sounds small, but in reality, given the enormous size of Google, it's an enormous savings of time, money, and energy. So that goes to say that self-improving AI is already making huge contributions. Automating training, that's number 3. Reinforcement learning with human feedback, a technique in which humans score LLM responses to prompts, and the LLMs are then trained using these scores, has been key to creating models that behave in line with human standards and preferences. But obtaining human feedback is slow and expensive. Increasingly, LLMs are being used to fill the gaps. LLMs can generate plausible synthetic data in domains in which they haven't been trained, and that synthetic data can then be used for training. LLMs can also be used effectively for reinforcement learning. In an approach called LLM as a judge, LLMs rather than humans are used to score the outputs of models that are being trained. So an AI can be used to train an AI through reinforcement learning. Most recently, AI agents, right? Data scarcity is particularly acute for training AI agents. Examples of complete step-by-step task completion are scarce online. In other words, training an agent has to be done manually. To overcome this limitation, Stanford's Marasani and her colleagues have recently piloted a technique in which an LLM agent generates a possible step-by-step approach to a given problem, and a separate LLM judge evaluates whether each step is valid, and then a new LLM agent is trained on those steps. Self-improving AI agents. Number 4, perfecting agent design. One area where LLMs haven't yet made major contributions is in the design of LLMs themselves. Today's LLMs are all based on a neural network structure called a transformer. The rise of LLM agents has created an entirely new design universe to explore. So Clune, the guy at Meter, created a system called a Darwin-Gödel machine, an LLM agent that can iteratively modify its prompts, tools, and other aspects of code to improve its own task performance. As it evolved, it also managed to find new modifications that its original version wouldn't have been able to discover. It had entered a true self-improvement loop. So this is here now, a self-improving AI agent. Advancing research, number 5. This is the 5th way LLMs are improving themselves, and AI agents are based on LLMs. Humans may still remain essential to AI research for quite a while. Many experts point to research taste, or the ability that the best scientists have to pick out promising new research questions and directions. So Clune from Meter and Sakana AI researchers are working on an end-to-end system for AI research that they call the AI Scientist. It searches through the scientific literature regarding AI to determine its own research question, runs experiments to answer that question, and then writes up its own results. Clune says, "We are looking right now at the GPT-1 moment of the AI scientist. In a few short years, it's going to be writing papers that will be accepted at the top peer-reviewed conferences and journals in the world. It will be making novel scientific discoveries." So surely you get what's going on here. To summarize the top 5, enhancing productivity, optimizing infrastructure, automating training, perfecting AI agent design, and advancing AI research, those are now entering the age of self-improvement, autonomous self-improvement. So what does this mean? Is superintelligence on the way? It seems likely that in the coming months and years, the contribution AI makes to its own development will only multiply. The evidence to support this is substantial. So I keep trying to bring home the impact of what's happening right now is about to have that has all been invisible and below the radar, but is about to whack all of us in the face. Superintelligent models which exceed human intelligence in many domains is just around the corner. In reality, though, the impact from self-improving AI is still uncertain. How? According to Baylog, an Alpha Evolve researcher, you maybe see the exciting beginning of the virtuous cycle, but it's still a slow process today. Like everything else related to AI, it will enter an exponential phase. How do we know that? If each subsequent version of Gemini speeds up its own training by additional 1%, those accelerations compound. It's just like compound interest, folks. And because each successive generation will be more capable than the previous one, it should be able to achieve even greater training speed-ups. Eventual superintelligence explosion looks inevitable. However, there's one key observation constraining all this. Innovation gets harder over time. Now, this has been repeatedly proven. A new research area shows rapid advancement at first, but later breakthroughs get harder and harder. Does that apply here? As the science of deep learning matures, finding each additional improvement might require substantially more effort on the part of humans and their AI collaborators. Determining the real-world impact of AI self-improvement then is a mighty challenge. However, Meter has found that the length of tasks that AI systems can complete independently has, since the release of GPT-2 in 2019, doubled every 7 months. That means that the length of task that an AI could complete has been doubling every 7 months since 2019. And since 2024, last year, that doubling time has now shortened to 4 months. So the length of tasks that an AI can do is tripling every single year right now. Tripling. This strongly suggests that AI progress is indeed accelerating. If AI notably increases the productivity of AI researchers or even takes some fraction of the research work itself, the balance shifts in favor of AI research acceleration. So the meaning of this should be crystal clear. AI is exponential. This is independently proven within the research done in this one article. The amount of time it takes for AI to double the length of a task it can do is now 3 times in a single year. It's 2025 now. That means by next year, AI will be 3x more powerful than it is today, right now. Think about that. All this means that AGI and then superintelligence is inevitable, again, as I said at the beginning, in the absence of regulatory limits to stop this. If you think that's going to happen, see my video from last week or week before regarding the change to AI policy. In other words, it's not being limited. This means that AGI and superintelligence is coming, and it's coming by 2030. As Ray Kurzweil predicted over 20 years ago, it will be here on or before 2029. What does this mean for us, everyday people? Mass job disruption. AI agents so powerful that they can basically, over the next few years, learn to do any white-collar task that anyone is doing today. So the hardest to get hit this time around are the office jobs, the professions, the higher-paying jobs in the economy. This is unprecedented in human history, but essential. It will take this upper echelon of employees to get whacked to shift the momentum to put effective regulations on what is happening. My prediction is that by 2029 here in the US and globally, a huge pivot in terms of AI regulation will occur. We'll see if that prediction is correct. What do you think? Leave your comments below. Also, we really need your continued support through, number one, liking, subscribing, and sharing, which really helps with the algorithm. Thank you very much. And two, supporting us on Patreon. We need your financial support to continue to grow this channel and bring you tools, resources, and guidance to help you navigate what is already starting to hit. If you don't believe it, see my video from 4 weeks ago on documented proof that AI is already disrupting employment. So thanks so much. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.